Mikey Madison, who just won an Oscar for her performance in Nora, has officially turned down a role in the Star Wars franchise. And obviously, it's heavily anticipated what will be her first project after winning an Oscar, especially at such a young age and so early on in her career. But it's not going to be Star Wars because nobody wants to be attached to this IP anymore. It's too much baggage, it's too much controversy, and the future is uncertain still. Sources tell Variety that Mikey Madison was offered a role in the new and untitled Star Wars movie, directed by Deadpool and Wolverine filmmaker Sean Levy, but conversations have since ended with the Honora star passing on the part.
I don't think it's controversy. I think it's just a dead property that nobody cares about anymore, and it won't do anything for her career. It could be controversy in the sense that it will bring unwanted scrutiny that won't have any net benefit for her career. So back in the day, you choose controversial roles because your name becomes synonymous with something and it can elevate your profile. There's all sorts of Star Wars now that nobody cares about.
Oh, yeah.
Like endless Star Wars.
There's
now
probably more
about.
Star Wars that no one cares about than there is Star Wars that people care about.
It's the one thing that absolutely still separates like Marvel from Disney Star Wars, which is like actors still like feign desire to do Marvel roles.
Yeah.
Like I have a list here of like actors who are like, I'd like to play this character. I'd like to play this character. There's still like the idea in people's heads that you could get a role in a Marvel movie and it might do something for your career. I always laugh at that because really what they're saying is I want to make money, which I support 110%.
Well, I mean, but it is work.
They always say it like, it's like, I want to do it because I love this character. I'm like, but
I know Kim Kardashian wants to play Mystique.
Yeah.
That should
Does
be
she
one
really?
example.
Well,
she's said that before. She dressed up as Mystique for Halloween.
Austin Butler wanted to play Human Torch. He did not get that opportunity.
Cynthia Erivo wanted to play which character?
Was it somebody in the chat might remember who Cynthia
All of
Erivo
these people have a nephew or a little
she might have been
brother
Mystique
or
too.
Someone that has been like, check this character out, or they've gone to that young man and said, who do you think I should play if your aunt was ever to get into a Marvel movie? And like they'll deep dive and they're like Emma Frost or whoever, Jubilee or whatever, but they don't know.
That was true back in the day when it was like older actors. It would be like a guy who's been in Hollywood for 30 years. And my grandson said I had to take this role. Younger actors, now these are guys in their 20s. They're the ones who theoretically would have grown up with comic books. Or I guess maybe if they were in their 30s, they grew up with comic books. I wouldn't imagine a lot of actors in their 20s these days grew up reading comic books.
We have another 20 from Mike Smith. There are only 4 Star Wars shows, 4, 5, 6, Rogue One.
It was Robert Redford in Winter Soldier. He said that his grandkids said he had to take the role because it was a Marvel movie.
Well, those aren't shows; those are movies. Was that just
no? I'm saying the point was
the super
that,
chat. The super chat.
Yeah.
No, Star Wars 4, 5, and 6 and Rogue One are movies.
Yeah, so I don't know.
He's just using show and movie interchangeably.
Okay.
And I would listen. I'm gonna make a statement that is generally unpopular, but episode 1, 2, and 3. Especially looking back, they have their problems, but they are not a waste of time the way that 7, 8, and 9 are, and almost all the properties since Disney took over.
You're talking about the prequels, right?
Yeah, the prequels. They are not. I'm not going to say that there's some kind of perfect movie or whatever, but they had their own storyline, right? That you could follow. They had some amount of intrigue. They were interesting. And they followed characters that people cared about. All the past ones, I mean, all the sequels, 7, 8, and 9, those were an abomination. They were not like the first J.J. Abrams one did not actually have a story. It was just a redoing of episode 4, but with a chick. Literally, the Cartman meme is what it is,
Make it lame and gay.
Yeah, make it lame and gay. Put a chick in it and make it lame and gay. So because there was none of the drama, because she could do everything already. She beat her protagonist, or the antagonist. She beat Darth, whatever his name, was it Darth Maul?
Remember.
No, not Darth Maul.
No.
I don't even care. She beat the dude in the first episode. So like you're just like, all right, well, she's obviously already awesome. You think about how much Luke Skywalker got his ass handed to him. Like, first 2 movies, he just got beat up. So, but episode 1, 2, and 3, those
You're
are
talking about Kylo Ren.
Pardon me?
Kylo Ren.
That's Kylo Ren, yes.
And the thing is, what they're doing now with the Sean Levy movie is it's its own story. It's not connected to this, to the Skywalker saga, and it's starring Ryan Gosling. And I was honestly surprised Ryan Gosling chose to do it.
Yeah,
he doesn't need to do it.
That's a waste of Ryan Gosling.
It is,
if I ever saw one. But it's separate from the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which is also separate from the Rey movie.
Yeah.
So these are 3 that are still in development. We have no idea.
I believe the Mandalorian movie finished principal photography and comes out next year, and there's nothing is moved forward on the Rey movie.
I'm not interested in the Mandalorian until they call Slave 1 Slave 1.
Yeah. Did you see that the Lego set that they released without naming it Slave 1?
It's so bad.
What is this?
So the spaceship that all the spaceships have names, or not all the spaceships, but a lot of spaceships have names. Boba Fett's spaceship was named Slave 1 because he's a bad guy, right? Like Slave 1. So he was a bounty hunter. He's the guy that would, do bad things and give people to Jabba the Hutt, so Jabba the Hutt could kill him because he's a gangster, blah, blah, blah. And they stopped calling it Slave 1 because that's offensive.
It's offensive to use the word slave.
Can't say master bedroom anymore either.
It's
we have a
exhausting.
20 from Santos Chavez. Brett, any thoughts on Daredevil Born Again season finale? Season 1 was a mixed bag. Hopefully season 2 is better.
Well, I'll tell you what, unfortunately somebody ruined the finale for me because I saw the clip of what Kingpin did to that guy, ripping his jaw out of his head. Did you see that, Phil?
Kingpin ripping
he grabs the dude by the head and pulls his jaw off. And
no, this is not Fat Kingpin?
No, this is new, like modern Kingpin.
Yeah, and he's not fat, right?
He's not fat.
I'm
4 episodes behind. Bro, it got so boring. I fell off of it. I will probably end up finishing it all at once. I'm kind of back on the train where I don't want stuff to be released 1 week at a time. I want them to dump everything all at once. I want all the episodes to come out at once. The hardest part of finishing Reacher season 3 was that it would have been better to watch it all in one weekend and get all episodes done because they're not made to be consumed weekly. They're like most of these things that are made now on streaming are made as one continuous story, whereas back in the day they'd make an episode and it would be self-contained. I don't want to watch 8 episodes that tell one complete story weekly. I want to see it all at one time. So I got to finish it. I know that they said that the finale of the season redeems it because it got boring and it only broke into the ratings like twice. Like only twice did it make the, not Samba, but what's the other one? The Nielsen ratings. And I think they said that's mostly thanks to The Punisher. So, using a whole season of TV as like a build-up so that you can promote season 2 of it is not the best look for them because they're having enough trouble getting people to watch it as it is. But I probably will finish it, if for no other reason than to get the context to watch Kingpin rip a dude's jaw from his head.
Well, back to other Disney failure Star Wars. Over the past few years, they say things have made 180 from the period of Kelly Marie Tran's life when she was facing racist and sexist vitriol from toxic Star Wars fans.
But was it funny?
After she joined the franchise as Rose Tico in 2017's The Last Jedi. Do you recall this character?
Yes,
I
do. So The Last Jedi was the worst of them. And it had the worst. It was intended by the director to undo Star Wars.
Yeah.
It was absolutely atrocious. And yes, I do remember Rose Tico. She was off on a side quest that literally had no purpose. Like by the end of the movie, you're like, oh, they went and did all that stuff for no reason. They went to a casino world, and it was all leftist garbage. They were doing. Seriously, it was real bad. It was terrible. So yes, I do remember her. She got a lot of crap.
The actress.
Maybe it wasn't her fault.
For being Asian?
No, it was
I'm
that
confused.
the character sucked.
Oh, wait, no, they're saying it's sexist.
Yes.
No, they said it was racist and sexist vitriol. So I guess they were saying she's getting hate because she's an Asian woman.
It wasn't because she's an Asian. She was an Asian woman. She was getting trolled because it was terrible, and they used the fact that she was an Asian woman to troll her. It wasn't like, oh, we hate Asians. It's like, oh, you're Asian. There's a vector of attack. You know.
Kelly Marie Tran did an interview with Variety where she said, "I've been able to learn how to celebrate the parts of myself that at the time I was scared of, or I was made to feel like I had to be ashamed of. This past year, I did 4 movies, and they were all Asian stories with Asian writers and directors, and a few of those were also queer writers and directors. I remember looking back and thinking, wow, how crazy is it? The thing I was persecuted for, I now get to make art about."
Persecuted.
They go into the next role she's taking in a rom-com as a lesbian scientist who is 1/4 of a cohabitating queer friend group in Seattle. In the movie,
You deserved it.
her and her partner, played by Lily Gladstone, want to start a family, but costly IVF treatments aren't working, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about the plot. The entire thing, this entire interview that Kelly Marie Tran has done is about the fact that she's Asian and a woman and gay. That's the entire thing. And then they follow up on the Star Wars experience that she had. They say, a lot has changed for Tran since Star Wars, but as she looks back on her experience with that fandom, she knows that the racism she faced was symptomatic of a larger continuing issue. Thank you. When considering what she wants to see change for actors of color who might not receive the support they need when they appear in major franchises, she replies, "The world. It's interesting how it seems to be happening pretty consistently to actors of color who find themselves in these spaces, and I think these occurrences are a microcosm for the social climate that we're living in, and it's really unfortunate."
And then for her, it's like it benefits her to continue on this path. Yeah. John Boyega, kind of in the same way, said he was never going to come back from it.
Like literally 2 weeks ago.
But they're very... they get a lot of boost in the news from talking about it.
It's like they get more of a career boost from complaining about being in Star Wars than actually being in Star Wars at this point.
Yes.
And that's essentially why Mikey Madison was like, I'm good, I'll pass on that. I have other offers.
That was a good idea. But to be honest with you, John Boyega does have something worth being bummed about, right? Like, he did, like, the way that J.J. Abrams set him up in the first episode was like, all right, this guy's going to be an important character, blah, blah, blah. And again, the second episode, which is total trash. What is his name? Ryan?
The
second.
Oh, Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson.
Ruin Johnson, they call him.
Who I hate. He absolutely made total garbage and threw John Boyega under the bus. It possibly was because of Disney as well, because they can't sell it in China if the big lead is a black guy.
I think it was just feminism. I think it was just they wanted Rey to be the main character, despite the fact that the audience wanted Finn to be the main character.
Maybe that
like
could
I
be.
think Kathleen Kennedy always expected Rey to be the standout of that. And
but even still, he could have not been he could have done what that Poe dude did. Like Poe Dameron was kind of like the lead guy.
Well, and now, guys, Andor is probably their most critically successful from both a fan and critic standpoint. As far as the TV show goes, it just doesn't get the numbers that they want. But Tony Gilroy has also said, like, that's it, we're done after season 2. So,
damn,
they're done.
So that's over with.
Like I said, Marvel is the only one where it's like, for as bad a shape as Marvel is in right now, there's still actors who are like, look, I'd like to do a Marvel movie. I'd like to play this character. Who was it? Austin Butler said he'd like to play Human Torch.
Also, it sounds like, I think Jamie Lee Curtis addressed this. Someone like brought up the idea of her doing a Marvel role, and she was like, I feel like I don't want to be in a blue screen room with dots all over me for like, you know, like, as my like full-time job for 6 months. Like, I'd rather not.
It's not fulfilling.
Yeah.
Well, for her, it's like she's already made her money. Like, she only needs to do projects that actually speak to her.
Yeah, I mean, someone like Austin Butler could probably do the same. So.
John Hamm said he'd like to play Mr. Sinister or Dr. Doom. Janelle Monáe said she'd like to play Storm.
I don't know who the actor is, but Mr. Sinister is a cool character.
I think that was the one
John
Cynthia
Hamm
Erivo said she wanted to play Storm.
Yes. John Hamm was from Mad Men. Don Draper.
Oh, the dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good. He'd be a good fit.
Yeah. So, it's kind of just a point of marking where we are now in the culture. Like, Star Wars just isn't relevant anymore, and it just doesn't matter. This girl just won an Oscar, and now she's like, keep me away from that
Bob
stuff.
Iger must be like, what did I allow to happen to this at one time priceless property, and you have just sullied it so bad that there are actors that are like, I don't want anything to do with that garbage. Unbelievable that he allowed Kathleen Kennedy to destroy it, because it could have been handled in a similar fashion to Marvel, because they're both owned by Disney, and there were problems with some Marvel movies, but it wasn't an absolute train wreck.
I mean, Marvel is a train wreck right now.
Maybe now, but it took a lot longer for it to become a train wreck.
Yeah.
And there have been a lot of. I think that they could come, like Marvel could come back. The new Avengers with Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom. That might be okay. I don't know. I'm not claiming to have any kind of inside information, but Robert Downey Jr. is a really good actor. People really like him. So if the story's good, that might pull it back from the brink.
I don't think you can pull it back from the brink without more good movies leading up to it. So it all depends.
Yeah,
on
it
how...
almost doesn't matter if the one with Robert Downey Jr. is good, because you haven't convinced people to keep up with what you're doing prior to that.
I am going to go see Thunderbolts.
Does the story tie in? The stories leading up to the new one?
I mean, barely, because nobody cares about Marvel anymore. So it connects to a bunch of Disney Plus shows that nobody watched in movies like Thunderbolts and Captain.
Because I'm interested in seeing Thunderbolts.
Did you care about Captain America?
I did. I watched the most recent one because I wanted to see Harrison Ford.
Did you? Okay, so you saw that one. You'll see Thunderbolts. Will you see Fantastic Four?
If it goes right to my TV the way they've been doing lately, I might spend the money on it. If it's like I can just be, oh, it's out now and I can download it on my TV and watch it at home. Yeah, I'm not going to go to the theater to see it, but I probably would watch it on the TV.
Well, that's the crux of the issue, right? Like, for them, they can't make movies that people are like, I'll watch it as long as I can watch it at home. They need to make movies where people are like, I don't just need to see it at home. I need to see it first, so I got to go to the theaters. And they don't have, in my opinion, they don't have that excitement right now. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.